my peoples, what's up? My name is Jason and I'm from the Shelf Stories YouTube channel, and I'm here today to talk about a one-player only solitaire game called Gate. I see this is a little micro game. It is in the, looks like the Tin series. You can actually get this at the Game Crafter. I went ahead and picked it up from over there. It is a tower defense deck building game. Plays very, very quickly. Definitely tries to fill that filler gap in your life, especially as a solitaire player. I'm going to go ahead and show you how it plays, tell you what I think. So without further ado, let's go to the videotape. All right, so the quick and dirty on Gate. So, tower defense game that I mentioned, here is the tower that you are defending. This is the heart of your city over here. This is your gate. These are hit points. You don't roll these. They just track your health of the town. If ever you were to lose all of these in the gate in particular, that is the primary lose condition for the game. This is the farm. This is the tower. These kind of provide buffs that you will use along the way. And these will take damage. You can lose these and you just lose the power, which is not too bad. But if you lose the gate, that's the thing that you want to worry about. This here is the pyramid. This represents the general mood of the town. Obviously, if it's low, the town's feeling okay, but it will progress. And if it hits these areas, so you see the gate icon, the tower icon, that will do damage to the tower. So more ways in which your tower can get assaulted. And if you also reach the top over here, you're going to lose as well. So what is going to damage you? What's going to damage you is these things right here. So this is the monster deck, and it's 9 cards. There's always 9 cards, and it is tiered. So you're going to get weaker monsters than stronger ones towards the end of the game. So here's an example of a monster right here. The Spy Eater, something like that. That's how much health it has, and at the end of the round, it's going to assault something. So like this particular one assaults the gate and inspires fear in the populace. Other monsters will destroy the tower or destroy the farm or something like that. So you have to kind of deal with those as they come out every single turn. Your defense is constituted with these starter cards. So these are kind of weenies, as you know, in good deck builder fashion. The farmer and the guard, barely any stats on them. But there is money on them, and you're going to be able to purchase or draft, I guess, townsfolk who are going to help you. So obviously, not too much stats exciting off of these cards, just like more stats. Exciting, I mean, like in terms of powers. Sometimes you get the occasional power, like the Mason, +1 to, hold on a sec, come on, focusing, yeah. There it is, something like that. It does give you a power in terms of the buffs that you can do on your turn. So in acquire cards, you can also do a couple of actions too. You can repair, so that would be this icon over here. You would just discard the card, and let's say my tower was down to 1, and I spend 3 repair. I can get it up to 4, and move on with my life over there. I can repair the tower. I can calm the populace, kind of bring this down. And also I can convert coins kind of in this wild card fashion into icons that I may need a little bit later. Okay, so the last thing, just to kind of mention, well, actually a couple of things. First of all, this will pass this little sun. The sun represents gaining heroes. They are very powerful, but they're one-time use. So they're going to go on your deck, you use them, and then they disappear from the forever. So they'll appear as the town kind of falls deeper and deeper into trouble. The last thing you're going to want to do is probably the most important aspect of the game is attacking. So you just declare an attack. You'll do some damage. If your tower is standing, you'll get a little bit of a bonus to the attack. But you are going to want to attack because they will attack every single round that they're out. After some of the rounds, they'll move on. You'll get bigger ones, more powerful ones, and then eventually you will have to deal with 2 Wave 3 monsters, and you have to defeat every monster in order to end the game. Very simple. Defend your tower, have a weenie deck, build your deck, defend against the monsters. All right, so that was Gate. So normally when I review games, I talk about the experience that the game generates for a person in their, what I call their headspace, from the thematic and the strategic end. Don't have a ton to say about the thematics of the game because it's a little micro game. I mean, this is not a huge game at all. So it shouldn't be expected to kind of generate this huge event. But I do have some positive things to say. Tower defense, I find, is, pretty effectively conveyed in games. I've yet to play one that fails to deliver. I've played tower defense that has not been just good mechanically, but I think, like, having a personal set of resources in which you invest yourself, and then having like villains threaten it, and it lowers down. You kind of have that tension of, like, oh my god, I'm going to lose something that I'm invested in. I think that, for whatever reason, I've encountered a lot of board games that evoke that feeling pretty well, and this is no different. A lot of the games that I've played, just the town is in flames, only 2 hit points left, and either I pull it out or I don't. So I think that's that, at least in terms of that little bit of investment, it does a pretty good job. And also just the cards themselves. I mean, like the medieval fantasy, so you have the druid and the monk who are, like, healing the populace and making them calmer. You have the warden and the champion that can attack. Everything makes sense. This is not a game where the theme is like wasted, or like you're fighting the theme in order to kind of get into it. Like, some other games, you don't, like, they're doing some weird thematic stuff, and it kind of gets in the way of you enjoying the game. So that's not true here. The theme is clean and gives you a lot of access to what you're doing. Strategically, this is what you're here for. And I think my first couple initial plays were pretty good. It's basic deck building fare. You have a dinky deck, and you get better cards. The cards aren't very exciting. You're not going to, draw a million cards like in some deck builders. It's just larger numbers, so to speak. And I think that's okay for a tiny little game to be simple and to just take, 5 minutes to learn and 10 minutes to play. And all that kind of stuff. So just, standard deck build. If you played one of them, you played all of them. You've definitely played this one. The one thing I had a little bit of difficulty with was that those bonus cards. So the bonus cards, you progress along that fear mid thing, and you get bonus cards in your deck. And, they're great bonuses, and they're one-time use. When you draw them, you use them, you kind of discard them. However, they're an opportunity that could have been spent on a card that you wanted. Like, let's say you get the engineer very early, and it gives you full repair, but nothing is damaged. So you've just wasted it. And that was a qualitative difference when you get the engineer early, or the bishop that soothes the populace early, and you can't use them. Versus, a game where you get them later and they're like super useful, turn the whole game around. The fact that the game injects this card that you can't do anything about, it's like, okay, here's a decision. I'm going to take a decision away. And maybe it's useful, maybe it's not. So I had a little bit of a difficulty with that one little piece. I mean, this game is so little that, every little bit of like, every rough patch is like more magnified than would it be in a bigger game. So that's the deck building. In terms of the tower defense, clean, solid. I mean, I don't have any complaints about my plays. And like I said, in the thematic end, games are tight. I've yet to have like a blow away. I just pulled everything game. I have gotten murdered. But it's that's what you want. You don't want a game to just kind of fall over and be easy. So I've either gotten murdered or barely won. So that's the kind of spectrum you're looking for. I think what you want out of a little game is really replayability. You want to be able to just play that game again and again and again and again. And I don't know that that's here. Once I played, 2, 3, 4 times, and I was kind of doing the same things every time. I think the monster deck is too small, 9 cards. Not that there's much design space to give you different monsters, but I kind of wish there was, so I wasn't kind of doing the same things. I know they come out in a different order every time, but that just means like I'm going to either fight it now or fight it a turn from now in another game. Not that much difference. So I think they wanted to fit into this little little box. I think the product size really determined what the game is. I think that with a bigger product size, this would have been a more replayable game. It's a good game. I really had fun with it. I did a playthrough of my channel, Shelf Stories. And I'm happy to have played it. But do I need to go back to it? Am I going to look forward to it 6 months from now? I don't know. I don't think that there's enough replayability there to make me really say one way or the other. So final thoughts. I'm going to give this one a 6.5. a little bit short of a seal of approval, but that doesn't mean that I think it's a bad game. In fact, this is a game, if you're a solitaire player, it's worth a look. Tower defense is just fun. I love tower defense. And this is a neat trick, a neat take on tower defense plus deck building. And I think it's worth a look. You might find that it's, you might have found more replayability than I did checking it out. So, you know, I definitely recommend checking it out. And also checking out the Game Crafter. I definitely want to support smaller publishers. So I know this isn't going to get all the views or anything like that a CMON game would get, but there's people designing all over the place, innovating in the space. And the designer over here, his name is Jason Glover, illustrator as well. You know, good on you for making something, and I hope that you guys go to the Game Crafter and check it out. So this is Jason reminding you, if you can change your mind, you can change the world. So until next time, later, everybody.